परमात्मा से है मेरी आत्मा, अब चल कर ले मिलन, अब चल कर ले मिलन, अब चल कर ले मिलन। परमानंद का अनुभव कर, ओ परमानंद का अनुभव कर, तू धन्य बना जीवन। ज्योति बिंदु, ज्योति बिंदु परमात्मा से है मेरी आत्मा, अब चल कर ले मिलन, अब चल कर ले मिलन, अब चल कर ले मिलन। प्रभु की प्राप्ति का मूल मंत्र है संपूर्ण समर्पण, है आत्मा चल प्रभु को सौंप दे तू सारा जीवन। देख प्रभु तेरे निकट विराजे, कर ले अभिवादन। ज्योति बिंदु, ज्योति बिंदु परमात्मा से है मेरी आत्मा, अब चल कर ले मिलन, अब चल कर ले मिलन, अब चल कर ले मिलन। परमानंद का अनुभव कर, ओ परमानंद का अनुभव कर, तू धन्य बना जीवन। ज्योति बिंदु, ज्योति बिंदु परमात्मा से है मेरी आत्मा, अब चल कर ले मिलन, अब चल कर ले मिलन, अब चल कर ले मिलन। बिंदु के प्रेम सिंधु में चल आज निहाले, परम पिता का प्रेम पात्र बन कर तू शुभ वर पाले। किरण किरण को निरख नयन से, से को जा मन में मगन। ज्योति बिंदु, ज्योति बिंदु परमात्मा से है मेरी आत्मा, अब चल कर ले मिलन, अब चल कर ले मिलन, अब चल कर ले मिलन। ज्योति बिंदु परमात्मा से है मेरी आत्मा अब चल कर ले मिलन अब चल कर ले मिलन अब चल कर ले मिलन परमानंद का अनुभव कर ओ परमानंद का अनुभव कर तू धन्य बना जीवन ज्योति बिंदु ज्योति बिंदु परमात्मा से है मेरी आत्मा अब चल कर ले मिलन अब चल कर ले मिलन अब चल कर ले मिलन प्रभु की प्राप्ति का मूल मंत्र है संपूर्ण समर्पण है आत्मा चल प्रभु को सौंप दे तू सारा जीवन देख प्रभु तेरे निकट विराजे ओ देख प्रभु तेरे निकट विराजे कर ले अभिवादन ज्योति बिंदु ज्योति बिंदु परमात्मा से है मेरी आत्मा अब चल कर ले मिलन अब चल कर ले मिलन अब चल कर ले मिलन परमानंद का अनुभव कर ओ परमानंद का अनुभव कर तू धन्य बना जीवन ज्योति बिंदु ज्योति बिंदु परमात्मा से है मेरी आत्मा अब चल कर ले मिलन अब चल कर ले मिलन अब चल कर ले मिलन ज्योति बिंदु के प्रेम सिंधु में चल आज निहाले परम पिता का प्रेम पात्र बन कर तू शुभ वर पाले किरण किरण को निरख नयन से ओ किरण किरण को निरख नयन से को जा मन में मगन ज्योति बिंदु ज्योति बिंदु परमात्मा से है मेरी आत्मा अब चल कर ले मिलन अब चल कर ले मिलन अब चल कर ले मिलन ज्योति बिंदु परमात्मा से है मेरी आत्मा अब चल कर ले मिलन अब चल कर ले मिलन अब चल कर ले मिलन परमानंद का अनुभव कर ओ परमानंद का अनुभव कर तू धन्य बना जीवन ज्योति बिंदु ज्योति बिंदु परमात्मा से है मेरी आत्मा अब चल कर ले मिलन अब चल कर ले मिलन अब चल कर ले मिलन प्रभु की प्राप्ति का मूल मंत्र है संपूर्ण समर्पण है आत्मा चल प्रभु को सौंप दे तू सारा जीवन देख प्रभु तेरे निकट विराजे ओ देख प्रभु तेरे निकट विराजे कर ले अभिवादन ज्योति बिंदु ज्योति बिंदु परमात्मा से है मेरी आत्मा अब चल कर ले मिलन अब चल कर ले मिलन अब चल कर ले मिलन परमानंद का अनुभव कर ओ परमानंद का अनुभव कर तू धन्य बना जीवन ज्योति बिंदु ज्योति बिंदु परमात्मा से है मेरी आत्मा अब चल कर ले मिलन अब चल कर ले मिलन अब चल कर ले मिलन बिंदु के प्रेम सिंधु में चल आज निहाले परम पिता का प्रेम पात्र बन कर तू शुभ वर पाले किरण किरण को निरख नयन से से को जा मन में मगन ज्योति बिंदु ज्योति बिंदु परमात्मा से है मेरी आत्मा अब चल कर ले मिलन अब चल कर ले मिलन अब चल कर ले मिलन ए मेरी आत्मा अब चल कर ले मिलन, अब चल कर ले मिलन, अब चल कर ले मिलन। परमानंद का अनुभव कर, ओ परमानंद का अनुभव कर, तू धन्य बना जीवन। ज्योति बिंदु, ज्योति बिंदु परमात्मा से, है मेरी आत्मा अब चल कर ले मिलन, अब चल कर ले मिलन, अब चल कर ले मिलन। प्रभु की प्राप्ति का मूल मंत्र है संपूर्ण समर्पण, है आत्मा चल प्रभु को सौंप दे तू सारा जीवन। देख प्रभु तेरे निकट विराजे, ओ देख प्रभु तेरे निकट विराजे, कर ले अभिवादन। ज्योति बिंदु, ज्योति बिंदु परमात्मा से, है मेरी आत्मा अब चल कर ले मिलन, अब चल कर ले मिलन, अब चल कर ले मिलन। परमानंद का अनुभव कर, ओ परमानंद का अनुभव कर, तू धन्य बना जीवन। ज्योति बिंदु, ज्योति बिंदु परमात्मा से, है मेरी आत्मा अब चल कर ले मिलन, अब चल कर ले मिलन, अब चल कर ले मिलन।
उस पार लगा तेरा, अब तक Lower down. Take one of the mic. Johnny mic. Which one go play harder? Oh. अरे महापित भगवान की जय, श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय, श्री महाविष्णु भगवान की jai. We put our hands together, close our eyes, bow our heads. As we start into the service today for the dearly parted, we ask Bhagavan in the form of Sri Krishna Bhagavan, Sri Mahavishnu Bhagavan, Sri Arimapit Bhagavan, to please accept our humble offerings today on behalf of her, given her, asking you for that peace of mind for her, accepting her into your abode in every way possible. Join together in prayer. Om Vishnu Vishnu Adhyasri Brahmane Adhis Dvete Pridhadrisi Svetvara Kalpe Vaivashmandavantare Ashtavishanti Tami Kaliyuge Kali Pratham Charane Jambud Shrira Deshe Amukh बच्चा नाम ग्रामे पुण्य चात्रे बहुडो भात्रे वर्तमान यथा नाम पलवंग संवत्सरे अमुक आयने मासे अमुक कृष्ण पक्ष अमुक तिथो अमुक वासरे अमुक योग अमुक विष्टिकरणे अमुक ऋषिष्टे शशंक छस शो गयो गयाशो यथा यथा राशि स्थाने स्थितोशो अमुक गोत्र गोत्राय अमुक yours. Kemraj Ramkissoon naam amuk Mariam Ramkissoon. Pritasya antishti karma aham sanskar karma aham karishe prem se bolo Sri Arimapitra Bhagavan ki. Rest it on top of the box. Jai Hind. And you concentrate on that beautiful form of Bhagavan Sri Vishnu, asking him for Bhagavan for his input into that departed soul, the life that gives everlasting peace and harmony to the soul. We join together in prayer. Om Shantakaram Bhujag Shainam Padmanabham Suresham Vishwadharam Gagan Sadrisham Megabharanam Subhangam Lakshmikantam Kamalanayanam Yogi Bindranagamyam Vande Vishnu Bhavaiharanam Sarvaloka Ikanatam Om Shanti 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 Prem Sabolo Sri Mahavishnu Bhagavan Ki Jai. Open Tapli Pichil. Water and Ganga Mata to purify the surroundings and the body of this deceased so they can have elevation. So while I recite mantra, I want you to sprinkle water 5 times go around from here. Right? Just sprinkle in top of the box, not outside, right? Go around the box, in top of the box. Yeah, right around. Om Adhyam Gotasya Mukha Mariam Ramkissoon. Walk around, walk around. You're walking around, yeah. Take your time, walk around. Yeah, and sprinkle while you walk around. Pitasya Mishtane Shwani Mrityam Snanam Ayadita Tao Pratishitam Om Adhyamuk Gotasya Amukha Pitasya Mishtam Shwani Mrityam Snanam Ayadita Tao Pratishitam Om Hari Om Sri Adhyamuk Gotasya Pitasya Mishtani Shwani Mrityam Snanam Ayadita Tao Pratishitam. Om Adhyamugrotasya Amuk Pretasya Mrishtane Shavani Mittam Snana Mayadite Tao Pratishtatam. Om Hari Om Tat Sat Om Chandana Mayadite Pretananta Dayakam Pratishtatam. On the picture and right around the box. Om Gandhadware Dwardarsham Nitya Karo Shvinam Tamir. Om Gandham Maya Sugandim Maya Dite Tao Pritananta Maya Dite Tao Pratishatam. Spray out all the flower. Can't get back. Om Sugandhi Maya Dite Pritananta Dayakam Tao Pratishatam. Spray out the flowers. Om Sugandhi Mayadite Pretananta Dayakam Tao Pratishatam. Om Hari Om Sri. Same thing. Om Malyadheni Sugandheni Malityadheni Ve Pushpani Mayaditi Pretananta Dayakam Tao Pratishitam. Put your hands together, stand front. As we have offered Tulsi inside before the Lakshmi box, we're going to do Pratna to Bhagavan. Om Hari Om Sri. Om Tulsi Dhalam Mayadite Dayakam Pretananta Dayakam Mayadite Tao Pratishitam. Om Tulsi Dhalam Mayadite Dayakam Pratishitam Mayadite Tao Pratishitam. Prem Sabolo Sri Varimapitra Bhagavan Ki. Om Hari Om Sri Yamudvare Mahagore Andhanatami Vitritatva Loka Mataha Deepo Ayam Pratishtatam. Take your time. Om Yamudvare Mahagore Andhanatami Vitritatva Loka Nataha Deepo Ayam Maya Diyate Tao Pratishtatam. Om Yamudvare Mahagore Andhanatami Vitritatva Loka नताय दीपो अहम प्रतिष्ठताम ओम साजम सवर्ति वहिना योजितम माया दीपम अयम प्रतिष्ठताम ताव ओम यम द्वारि महाघोरे अंधान तामि भृतृतत्वलोक नाथ दीपो अयम प्रतिष्ठताम ओम यम द्वारे महाघोरे अंधानतामि वितृतत्वलोक नाथ दीपो अहम प्रतिष्ठिताम प्रेम से बोलो श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। So as we are about to offer the first pinda, we ask Bhagwan. As this is started development of the body to travel, for the soul to travel, as we offer the first one. So keep this in mind. Om Adhyamugotra Amuk Mariam Ramkissoon Pitasya Mishtani Shravana Mithyam Ashite Pindo Mayadi Tau Pradishitam. Snana Mayadite Pretananda Dayakam Tau Pradishitam. Prem se bolo Sri Ariyamat Bhagavan ki. So, 5 dolls is offered in this form. This is the period of time where Panchak, where we place this on the different parts of the body, but today we do have the opportunity. So we put it in one place. We ask Bhagavan in that form of Ariyama Pitra Bhagavan that the 5 angels will come in that different forms to hold that soul in 5 places to carry over that bad period of time that passed away, which we call Pancha. So we ask Bhagavan to come and join us and accept this on behalf of her. Om Hari Om Tat Sat Om Vasaho Pavitramasi Shatadharam Vasaho Patrime Sahasradharam Devataha Savita Pano Vasaho Pavitrana Shatadhariha Swapana Karma Ashuta Om Vabhisyaha Namaha Sring Hari Om Tat Sat Jai Narayan. Prem se bolo Sri Ariyama Pitra Bhagavan ki. Recite 45 mantras, 45, and then we will place them one by one in the box. Okay? One by one, right? Right. ॐ वसुः पवित्रमासि शताधारं वसुःपत्रि मे शताः सहस्रधरं वसवत सवितपानो वसु पवित्र सहतः धार्यः श्रूपणकर्म उषक वसुः भव्य नमः. Please the first one. Second one. Om. So that one Devta Varunaya Namaha. Om Varuna. Pritas Sakha Sakhe Namaha. Please the second one. Take up the third one. Om Uttano Ahir Bhudnya Snoto Vaya Ekapata Pavitti Pravitti Samudra Vishwe Deva Litra Vidho Havasna Tuta Mantraha Kavishata Avantu Om Ai Kapadhya Namaha Om Preet Paya Namaha. Oh, for the third one. Pick up the fourth one. Om Shavu Namasi Shav Swaditiste Pita Namasya Astu Namahi Gum Pisehi Om Nivarateyam Ya Suyesha Dhyaya Prayan Maya Rajye Pujaya Supasya Tvaya Suviryaya Om Adnidbhudnyaya Namaha Om Preta Bhumi Paya Namaha. Please take up the last one. Concentrate again, Bhagavan. Om Pushan Tattva Ravid Rati Vidyayan Narishye Makadhya Chana Stutharasta Ahismasi Om Pushane Namaha Om Preta Hatre Namaha. Please. Om Ofa. Om Krishna Krishna Kapaluk Tum Gatinam Gatir Bhava Sansa Bharanna Mag 25. Nam Prasid Pushtam Om Hari Om Shanti Hisha Prem Sabolo Sri Arimapit Bhagavan Ki. Right, so as we come to the end of the first part of the rituals, we now hand over to anyone give eulogy speech. Anybody would like to say something on behalf of grandmother, your mother, to give any little eulogy in any way possible?
I have had the privilege to be with my mother for 58 years. My mother loved all her children, near or far. I know there were times that others felt that I was her favored one. And if I was, I thank God for that, because every blessing she bestowed upon her children was well deserved and with an open and loving heart. My mother took Crystal from a little girl and she raised her, Raj's daughter, as if Crystal was her own child. She never looked for anything from anybody with the help of my father. And she raised her up to be a young woman. The same way she had a wedding ceremony for Chandra, she had a wedding for Krista because she wanted it to be grand. She came from a very poor family. And whether she had or she didn't have, she made it do. I remember days my mother would sacrifice for us. She would give me 10 cents, 10 cents when I was going to secondary school, so I could have a Pepsi on a daily basis. And she made a lot of sacrifices so I could have that. I don't think any of us can repay my mother for what she has done for us. None of us can. She loved her brothers and her sisters, all her nieces, all her nephews. She embraced all the in-laws. It didn't matter which one it was, near or far. There were days when I lived in Trinidad. It was a regular routine for my mother to go visiting all her sisters, her brother's house. I was committed to my mother on a Sunday afternoon. Instead of going out with others, going out with my friends or anything, I drove my mother so she could have that relationship with her siblings and her nieces and her nephews. She loved having family around. She loved it. She looked forward to it. This last 2 years, she missed it. When I talked to her, she would say, I haven't seen this one in so long, I don't know what happened. And I would have to tell her, Ma, it's COVID, nobody going by nobody, everybody wants you to be safe. She missed those days. She missed those visitations. She missed having people around her. It was part of her life. My mother and my father were so good to me. And I don't know what I'm going to do without them now. She's gone. She has so many grandchildren. She has created so many memories with them. She went to visit Aisha when Jade was born, so she could be there, so she could help her to teach her how to take care of Jade as a newborn baby. When I had Melissa, she came and she stayed with me for 2 months. My mother was there. Every day, she would pick up Melissa. She would give Melissa a bath and take care of her. She did the same thing when Mark Anthony was born. She considered Wayne as a son and not as a son-in-law, and Romel as a son and not a son-in-law, because they had that relationship with her. Jane and Sherry and Nisha, They've always been around her. She looked at them as daughters and not nieces. Shivani and Rodney, they had a special place because they were able to live with her for many, many years as their grandmother. Ravi was the first grandchild who we were able to have at our house. Ravi would come as a newborn baby, 1 month old. Ravi stayed without his parents. And we would take care of him. My mother would take care of him. He would be sleeping with me. She would come in the middle of the night to check on him, to make sure I wouldn't squeeze him. It was the same with Sasha. They were able to come around and be around her because she would ask me every Thursday evening when I came home from work. She would ask me, "You going for the children? You're going to bring them?" It was a regular routine when I was here that they would be there to spend time with her because she enjoyed that. There was a time when I came to visit and Melissa was a baby. And Crystal and Sasha took Melissa for a walk. They decided to take her on the pipeline, and Melissa fell down. When she came back home, my father scolded the both of them, and my mother gave them taps like this because they were not supposed to do that. But after it all, she would talk about it and laugh because those were enjoyable moments for her, to have time with her children and grandchildren. She never missed a moment to say "I love you" to me when I ever spoke to her. And she did the same with all the children and grandchildren. We always used to tell her, I would always tell her, Raj was her eyeball. No matter what Raj did, her heart was to see him be a bigger person. And she always had that hope for him. And you couldn't say anything about him because I'll tell you what, she could say what she wanted, but if you tried to say anything, she changed the subject. She would divert the conversation very quickly. Zainal would come over. Zainal got married when we were living in Diamond Village. And then Zainal and Lakshman had Vijay. And we would walk over. She could say, "You want to walk with me?" Just so she could go and see Vijay for a few minutes. And she will come back and she would say, you see how his eyes is? You see how his eyes is? Because Vijay, when he was younger, when he was a baby, his eyes had the color of my mother's eyes. When Sherry Ann was born, she was so happy because she said, you know, Zainul loved girl children so much. And he had 3 boys. And she so wanted Zainul to experience having a girl child. She suffered a lot of loss in her lifetime. She lost Harun, he was about 8 years old. She had a baby that was born after me, and that baby did not survive. She had Shelley, who at 10 months old had to undergo surgery. After 1 month after surgery, Shelley passed away with pneumonia. And she is not here today. And she's not here today. But even though Shelley was her baby, Angie was more of a baby to her. Angie nursed up to Angie was 9 years old. Angie was her baby all the time. Sometimes we say words and we don't know where those words are going to fall and how they're going to line up in our lifetime. My mother had this desire. She would always say she hoped that Angie, when Angie get married, Angie would come and live with her. Life turned around. Angie ended up living with her throughout the rest of her life. But Angie couldn't be here to see her go in. Unforeseen circumstances. This last 2 years, she will not eat without Angie, and Angie will not eat without her. They will sit down every day and have dinner together. They will watch their show together. When it was time for her show, if I ever forgot and called her during that time, I would be talking and I would say, are you listening? Are you there? And she would say, yeah, I hear. I said, but you're not listening, you're watching your show? She said, well, yeah. I said, okay, watch your show. I will call you back. She enjoyed the very simple things in life. My mother didn't hesitate to sit down at home and have a meal. Going to a restaurant was no big deal to her, even though she wanted to experience it. Once she experienced it, it was not a big deal to her. Going out, wearing fancy clothes, all these things was not something that attracted her. What attracted her was relationships with family members, with neighbors, with friends. There's so many people who she had good relationships with. so many, near and far. Dan Raj has been a part of our family, I would say, for at least 28 years. He was acquainted with my father when he was working. And he chose my father to become his godfather. But choosing my father to become his godfather wasn't it. He embraced my mother as a mother to him. If my mother asked him to do anything for her, he never refused. He was always there for them. And she always considered him as a son to her. She has been privileged. My mother, the first time she traveled, she said to me, I never thought I would go in an airplane. It was an adventure for her. She traveled to the United States many times. She went to California, Florida, New York. She even made it to England. The first time she traveled, I think everyone knows that my mother was illiterate. My mother could not read and she could not write. But she made it all the way to Los Angeles by herself without any assistance. She had a very good sense of direction. My mother can take me from one end of Trinidad to the other end of Trinidad without a GPS and without a Waze. As long as she went there once, she knew how to get back and she knew how to get out. I can read and I can write and I cannot do that, but my mother could. She was a very intelligent and frugal lady. She had so many ideas in doing things, and nobody can clean like my mother can clean. She would see the finest speck on a cup, a plate, sweeping, doing anything. There's times when I was 9, 10 years old, and I always wanted to help her, and in wanting to help her, I would go do the dishes and stuff. And when I come back, I would see the dishes in a basin in the sink soaking. And I would be like, what happened? And she wouldn't say anything. But then I would see her go quickly to the dishes to wash it, so I don't go back and wash it again. She was very particular with clothes. If her clothes had a stain on it, she didn't care if it took her hours to get that stain on. She would do it. The best part of it all is that nobody can cook a meal like my mother. She may take a long time to get it done, but she did everything by hand. And she put a lot of love into that, because when you eat it, you would always be satisfied. Raj will tell you he will never eat a meal like that again. of us will. Chandra is a great cook, and other people are great cooks. But nobody can cook a meal for me like my mother can. My mother will be sadly missed by all of us. I think she will be most missed by my sister Angie. Oh my, I pray to God that you're in the arms of God right now.
प्रेम से बोलो श्री Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki. My dear friends and families of the deceased, all of us are gathered here today to send her back to the Creator, to the source that we come from, which we call Paramatma, the Supreme Master. The soul is called Atma, which is part and parcel of Bhagavan, of God. And our purpose in life, as we take permission to come here and enjoy this material world that He has given to all of us, we make promises that we not forget Him. We make promises that we'll continue to always remember Him. And as best as of our ability seeks us, that we will abide by most of the rules of creation of Dharma. Today we are gathered here, sending her off, the final journey of her on this material world. What you see here today, all who have seen, the body is made up of 5 elements. 5 elements, and we all know what 5 elements are. But a reminder: earth, water, fire, air, and ether, which we call space. And look at the entire universe, or this world, is also made of these 5 elements. And when someone dies, the body, as we say, remains with 3. And these final rituals that we are doing, that we observe, is to send off that 3, which is the space which we call ether, water, and the earth. The air is no more, and the Atma, which we call the fire part of it, the life of it, is no more. It is starting to become eternal. Bhagavan Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, that chapter 2, verse 19 to 25, he said to Arjuna, he says, this soul that each and every one of us has, it's just like our own life that we live in. He said the soul is like us when we reach a certain time with this clothes that we have on. It gets old and we get a new one. But there's a procedure, because we have to go through a procedure in order to achieve a new one. That's all. And so too the soul goes through that procedure to achieve a new one. Bhagavad Gita also tells us that when we are about to die, whatever we think about in that spur moment of time, that we will take a form to suit that. This is why he says, always, always, my dear friends, put God in your thought. Put Bhagavan in your thought. Always. Recite His name. Whatever name you choose, keep His name on your lips. Keep His name on your tongue, on your mind. So when the time comes, you'd have a easy journey. He says the soul, water cannot wet it. The soul, fire cannot burn it. Nor a sword can cut it. Neither the wind can dry it. The soul is everlasting, unperishable. Nothing can taint it. Nothing can injure it. Nothing can bring harm to it. But the soul goes through the process of life when it joins its human body into evolution. The period of that time we take to stay on earth, it goes with it. And my dear friends and family that are here today, we must always remember that we are here to enjoy the material world as fully as possible, but also to build a character concerning your spiritual life, so when you're ready to leave, you will not have bad karma. You will not have a bad karma to carry you through, because you carry nothing else with you, nothing else. And from what I was listening a little while ago, everything that's said about her, which I know her for a little while, guys, always meet her by Zainul. I found all right, she's a very good soul. Always politely spoken to me, Panditji, Baba, how are you going? And all of this. And I know she has that ability, and she created that for herself. So when this time comes, her journey would be peaceful in every way possible. Today we join together as one family, asking Bhagavan to accept her soul. And Prabhu, whatever form you have chosen to give her is fine, but we ask that you give her back that form of a human body, that she will continue to enjoy the good things of this universe. I will now ask anyone who wants to come and sing a bhajan while I offer the rest of the pinda in preparation to make our journey towards the crematorium. So anyone who wants to come sing something, sing a bhajan, whatever it is, you choose so, please, you are free to come and do so. Prem se bolo Shri Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki.
This is a world of strangers. No one is yours. Although everyone lives, I am still alone. I am here to love, or die here.
before we do final prayers, anybody wants to come and offer a flower? You can get up and come and offer the flower now before we do final closing to make preparation to go. So there's flowers here. Who wants to offer the flowers? Come and just put it on the table. Everybody wants to do it. ओम मल्याधेनि सुगंधेनि मलत्याधेनि विप्रभु माहितानि पूजर पुष्पाणि पुष्पाणि मायादीते ताओ प्रतिष्ठिताम् ओम मल्याधेनि सुगंधेनि मलत्याधेनि विप्रभु माहितानि पूजर पुष्पाणि पुष्पाणि मायादीते ताओ प्रतिष्ठिताम् And we put our hands together and close our eyes, bow our heads, and repeat to the Supreme Master in all his different form, asking for liberation, asking for blessings, asking acceptance, and asking to give peace and harmony to the departed. Today we join in prayer, giving her that special blessings from Bhagavan. Om Ranadhini Nidhino Deva Shankha Chakra Gadhadhar Akshay Pundarikaksa Sri Preto Muksha Pradhu Bhava Om Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhu Cha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Om Narayana Shurishishta Lakshmi Kanta Janardhana Anaya Tarpatane Nam Natham Preta Muksha Pradho Bhava Om Shanti शांति ही शांति प्रेम से बोलो श्री महाविष्णु भगवान की जय, श्री अरिमा पितृ भगवान की जय, श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय. Offer the flowers with. अच्छा, all right. Thank you all for your time, and now we'll make arrangement with the rest to go to.
पिता का प्रेम पात्र बनकर